Sports with your host Jay Pops. Guys, I'm back. I'm back for another episode of the Homemade Podcast Sports. We're here, people. We are here. We're here. Yes, I'm about 15 minutes late to my podcast, but I had to get set up with everything. I had to make sure that everything was right. Had to make sure that I had all my notes and things of that nature, so we won't get confused on anything. If you guys hear that blowing in the background, then that's just simply because of the simple fact of that my fan is on. And in this garage, because this is not set up to be the man cave, things of that nature, you may just hear a little bit blowing, and that's because it's hot. Out in the great city of Houston, Texas, people. If you guys check the location, if you guys have checked the location, and that is where I'm at. I'm in Houston, Texas. It's about 2:30 p.m. It is hot. All right. So I do need something blowing on me. So please, guys, forgive me for that. To everybody around the nation that's not even Aggie fans, if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, I thank you for it. I just want to let you guys know we are about 80 days away from the kickoff of the college football season, okay? To all my Aggie fans out there, to all my Aggie brothers and sisters, we are officially 80 days away from Aggie football kicking off. Our first game is Sam Houston State. Please know that Sam Houston would not come in and be a walkthrough game. All right, as much as you guys want it to be a walkthrough game because they're not on a Power 5 level, I'm going to tell you like this, man. They're not going to be a walkthrough game, all right? So once again, I believe our first game is Sam Houston State. Then after that, it will be Appalachian State. Now, that is, of course, a G5 team. All right, so Appalachian State has been known to come in and upset a lot of programs. Let's make sure that they don't do it to us. All right. With that being said, on this latest edition of that Homemade Podcast Sports, guys, let's get into it. Let's talk about what's really going on. The reason to why Texas A&M football, as you guys can see, is out there being ranked as high as the number 4 preseason team. Please notice this here. When those rankings do post and come out, this team will indeed be in either the top 10, top 7, or top 5, just like you guys see. All right, I do know that it's baseball season going on. I'm not going to overlook baseball, but we're going to talk about a little bit of football there, all right? Just to keep you guys informed, our first game is on Friday at 1 p.m. Please make sure you all tune in across the world. This will be on ESPN televised, all right? Shout out to the Aggie baseball team. But anywho, so guys, let's talk about this. What is going on? Because I've seen not only myself, not only a couple of Aggies, but I've seen professional analysts all over come out and say this Texas A&M team, I'm going to rank them as the number 14. So I seen from Joel Collette on this morning. Matter of fact, just recently this morning, I seen him rank his top 5 teams. No, his top 4 teams. Top 4 teams was number 1, Alabama. Number 2 was Georgia. I believe number 3 was Clemson. And then number 4 was Texas A&M. And number 5 was Notre Dame. It was a lot of people that was heated behind that. But even myself, I'm like, man, why do they keep ranking Texas A&M at number 4? And not to say that I don't disagree with the entire rankings, but I'm also looking at it like, man, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing? So, I started digging. I started doing a little bit of homework. And I really wanted to know, what are these guys looking at that I may not be looking at, you all may not be looking at? Because myself, I rank Texas A&M to be maybe like your top 17. Although they went 8-4, it's a lot of people that love to make fun of that, Longhorns specifically. They love to make fun of that. But we all know that if we just had consistent quarterback and wide receiver play, offensive line, okay, yeah, I know they had their moments. They were, they wasn't great but you know they weren't good, but they were decent. They were decent enough to get you 10 wins. Put it like that. But we just couldn't do it. We went 8-4. You have to look at this 8-4 team, this 8-4 ball club, in which a lot of people, quote unquote, they chicken out the bowl game. Anywho, you have to look at this 8-4 team, and you have to ask yourself, what are they seeing that everybody else is not seeing? So once again, I've done a little bit of digging, and I researched some things. And you know, I'm up, just to let you guys know, I'll be up at about 7:45 in the morning. I've been on, you know, of course, the maternity leave. I believe that's what you call it for the men. Blessed to have a job like that. But anyway, I've been on maternity leave, and you know, I've been up at about 7:45, and like I say, the new baby is here and everything, so I have to make sure that I compliment my wife, and I have to help her out in the morning, you know, wake up, get the bottles, or, you know, change the diapers or whatever. The baby has been with me all morning, just to let you guys know. I've finally given her to my wife because I had to go and make my podcast. But this is what I found out, and this is what I came up with, because we're going to really dig into this, because this is information that you guys need to know across the country about your team. All right, and this is what, you know, regardless to what Oklahoma State does with the 3 stars, Iowa State, Michigan State, what they done with a lot of transfers that came in which I did not factor into these into this stuff I'm about to tell you about. But you guys have to know this. So I looked at this, and it had on here, I said, man, let me look up the last 3 national title champions coming from the SEC in general. This is what I looked at. This is what I looked at. You know, so I started doing some things and stuff like that. But before I got to that, an interesting fact hit me. All right, and I need all of my Aggie alumni. I need all of my Aggie brothers and sisters to really please stand up. If you guys are watching this episode, this is a very important episode right here, man. And I need you guys to understand rankings, because this is for the Stars Don't Matter crowd. You know, this is for the Stars Don't Matter crowd out there that really needs to hear what I'm about to say. And this is the reason to why you see Oklahoma State kind of staying where they're at, and they're not winning either the Big 12 or they're not getting to the playoffs, you know, stuff like that. I need you guys to really sit back, and I need you to hear this. Texas fans as well. Yes, I have to mention Texas in here, because I'm going to tell you about them a little bit later on. But this here is what I researched. Before Jimbo Fisher's arrival in Aggieland in 2017, the average recruiting class rankings for Texas A&M football was 11th. Parentheses, not top 10, people. Not top 10. And I hear a lot of people all over social media. I hear a lot of people kind of come on here to my podcast, comment on anything I'm putting out there, and say this here. Well, A&M been recruiting top 5 classes ever since they've been in the SEC. No, they have not. I keep telling you guys this. No, they have not. We've been recruiting some good classes, some decent classes, but they're nowhere near championship level classes. Reason being is for this. Now in just the last 4 years, the average class is now 4th. Parentheses, major improvement. Tear down and rebuild, exclamatory mark. I got on here as well. Now we're ready. Now we're SEC ready. All right? So what do you mean by that, J-Pops? What do you mean by SEC ready now? This is what I mean. Once again, I need all you guys to listen to this. And this is just specifically talking about the SEC, because all 3 national champions came from out of the SEC. Yeah, all the last 3 national title games, the last 3 national champions, they've all been SEC teams. So this is what you guys need to hear, and you guys need to understand why Jimbo Fisher is doing what he done, and why Jimbo Fisher took the 10-year contract, and in which I heard as well that A&M really offered him a 15-year deal. They backed up and offered him a 10-year deal because, well, he didn't want to take the 15-year deal, you know, which is like a lifetime contract, to be honest with you. So A&M said, okay, Well, how about 10 years? $75 million. Take it or leave it. What did Jimbo Fisher do? He took it. He didn't leave it. He took it. You want to know why he asked for those 10 years? Because of what I just told you. The last 3 national champions have all come from the SEC. He's coming into a program in which I will reference for the 100th time, in which you all have already referenced for me anyways. He's coming to a program that hasn't won a division title since like 1998, I believe, 1999, in which is like 20 some odd years. He's coming to a program that haven't won a conference title since 1998, which is what, 24 years ago. And he's coming to a program that hasn't won the national title in 83 years. He needs time just like the next man. The difference here is that Jimbo Fisher is a national championship coach. It's not a coach that has ever left the Texas A&M athletic facility saying that they are a national championship coach in football, basketball, nor baseball. I need you guys to I need you guys to bookmark what I just told you right there. It hasn't been a coach that has left this A&M facility and went to the next job and said, I won a national title over there. And we're just talking about men's, on the men's side specifically. Because Gary Blair and our track and field coach, Pat Henry, those guys have national titles. All right? They have national titles at Texas A&M. So if they wanted to leave and go somewhere else, for whatever reason, they have a long resume. Anybody else that has left does not have that. This is the first time ever where we've had a national championship coach to come out and facilitate our football program. So of course we're going to ride this Jimbo train until we can't ride it anymore. So of course this is why people continuously put Texas A&M up there amongst the elites, because they want them to show them that they can be elite. This is the reason why Jimbo Fisher has put pressure on himself, not us. It's Jimbo Fisher. So let's get back to what do I specifically mean by now we're SEC ready. In a Jimbo Fisher era, and this is for the last 4 years. Oh, I'm going to say this once again. This is for the last 4 years, ever since 2018. Not 2017, because he didn't really have a full recruiting year, and those players are gone already. So this is from the 2018 class, in which some people still remain. Jalen Preston is one of them. Chase Lane is one of them. So these are these guys. All the way up into the 2021 recruiting class that we just got. All right. So this is the average ranking for Jimbo Fisher now. This is the average recruiting ranking for Jimbo Fisher now. 4th in the nation. You want to know those numbers in the SEC? Number 3. So this is why they continuously have Alabama, Georgia, and then Texas A&M in that order. It's not because of the hype. It's because of what Jimbo Fisher has done. He's laid the pressure on himself. Once again, not us. The number of 3-star players in the Jimbo Fisher era right now, and I'm going to go 3, 4, 5. The number of 3-star players in the Jimbo Fisher's era now, leading up to right now, in which we're finna start to see, 32. That's how many 3-star players Jimbo Fisher has recruited. 4-star players, and I'm about to hit you guys on the head with this, because this is the reason to why I laugh at you guys when you obnoxiously, I cannot get the word out right, say that A&M has recruited in the top 5 ever since they've been in the SEC. The number of 4-star players that Jimbo Fisher has recruited, 60. I'm going to say this once again for the people in the back. 60. And everybody's going to bring up, man, and y'all still going 8-4? Yeah, we went 8-4 last year. The year before that, we went 9-1. The year before that, all freshmen on that field. The whole entire 2019 class was on that field. We went 8-5. Before that, we were 9-4. These are the 4 years ever since Jimbo Fisher's been here. It wasn't up until this year where his average on rankings recruiting class is 4th in the nation. All right? Understand what I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you guys this for a reason. This is why they have them ranked so high in the top 5. It's not because of what they've done. It's because of what Jimbo Fisher has accumulated ever since he's been here within the last 4 years. So, of course, Paul Firebaum, good guy, and I watch him a lot. A lot of you guys are upset with what he's been saying, but at the same time, you have to understand why Paul Firebaum feels that way. It's time for Jimbo Fisher to execute. I feel that way. He done it once. Once again, he could have done it last year, but I can't continuously say that he didn't do it because of terrible quarterback play. I can't continuously do that because you guys will continuously say, man, you guys are making excuses. And that is a legitimate excuse, but it's a fact at the end of the day. It is a fact. It is a fact. It is a fact. Thank you, sir. All right, you too. But it is a fact. Shout out to UPS, by the way. Shout out to UPS. They brought me the package. Now my son has his iPad. He can get on my face. But that is a fact. You guys have to understand that. All right? Also, we're in the SEC West. And I'm going to tell you guys about why I'm saying we're in the SEC West and which is why a lot of people say, yeah, man, Texas A&M be good, but it's going to be very hard to win the national title when Alabama is in your way. But it's not only Alabama in the way. It's not the Mississippi schools neither. You guys can dismiss me on that. It's also LSU. Those are the two juggernauts at the top. It's not Arkansas neither. Arkansas had a good season. Shout out to Arkansas, by the way. I believe they'll be very good this year. They won't be as good as last year. I do not believe that. But that team will go every bit of 9-3. Listen to me when I talk to you guys. That team will every bit of go 9-3. But anywho, this is what he asked for the 10 years for. He's only going into his 5th year. A lot of you guys felt that he should have won it in his 4th year. A lot of you guys felt that he should have won it in his 2nd year already. Why? Because a lot of you guys seen Kirby Smart go to the college football playoffs within his 2nd year. The only problem about that is that Kirby Smart had coached in the SEC well over 7 years, man. He just started being a head coach not too long ago. Kirby Smart already had the upper hand. He knew what to do. Also, he went to a program that was already built nationally. They just weren't executing the way that they should have been. All right? But Kirby Smart enhanced him. And I'm going to tell you about that a little bit later on. Once again, I think a lot of you guys tuning in because it looks like you guys want to hear this. And I need you all to hear it because I'm going to do some other things. So, the 5 stars, okay? The 5 stars that Jimbo Fisher has been able to accumulate within the 4 years, and this is including the 2021 class, is 13. I'm going to say it once again, it's 13. Now let me reverse that back to Kevin Sumlin. Kevin Sumlin, average recruiting classes. That's why I told you about this. His average recruiting classes was 11. It was 11. I can't tell you how many 3-star players Kevin Sumlin had. And a lot of you guys love to tell me about the receiving stats. Although Kevin Sumlin, had just what I told you. This is what a lot of you guys try to shun me on. Yeah, but with those 3 stars, there's a lot of those guys that went first round. Okay. Kevin Sumlin found some diamonds in the rough. But did Kevin Sumlin win any championships? Did he win anything? What was Kevin Sumlin's problem? He continuously lost to LSU, continuously lost to Alabama, continuously lost to the Mississippi schools. And here we are now. Also, with that being said, you want to know the reason to why A&M is really on this high-level anarchy that they're on right now? It's because of Jimbo Fisher, man. He has made this program well off relevant than probably what it even should be at the moment. And I'm going to say this once again. He made this program way more relevant than what it should be. All right? Also, the reason, I thank you, Terry Williams, and I keep on saying that. Also, the reason to why Kevin Sumlin wasn't able to win as much as he needed to was because of the defensive side of the ball, man. He gave 2 craps about the defense. And I hear a lot of former players that left that was under the Kevin Sumlin era, and I've also said this here, man. If I was there with Jimbo Fisher, man, we'd probably be the one in the conference by now. And that's true, man. That is true. All right, but anywho, let's keep going here because once again, you guys needed to know this. So let me flip the page here. Let me get a little bit of drink. And yes, guys, I can drink on my podcast. I'm off. I don't have to go to work. All right. But anywho, well, I am at work right now, right? Yeah, but I don't have to clock in. So, anywho, these are the people. The last 3 national champions coming from the SEC were 2019 LSU, 2020 Alabama, and 2021 Georgia. Here, their recruiting rankings average, parentheses, excluding the transfers, for the 4 years leading up to their name. LSU, 7. Parentheses, 3 stars, 36. 4 stars, 53. Well, 53 4 stars. And 6 5 stars. Close parentheses. They won it in 2019. Alabama. Their recruiting average ranking, 2nd. That's crazy to hear, right? For Alabama. That is super crazy. And a lot of you guys did not know that. That was their average ranking 4 years leading up to their natty, which came in 2020. I've done the research, people. They had 23 stars, 68 4 stars, 14 5 stars. All right? That's the 4 years leading up to that 2020 national title. Georgia, who just won it last year, your 2021 college football playoff champions. Their recruiting average rankings, and a lot of you Georgia fans don't even much know this neither. A lot of you Alabama fans, I believe y'all already know this. And this is the reason why you guys are now kind of looking at A&M like, all right. And I will say this about the Alabama fan base. Half of you guys are upset at A&M, but half of you guys are actually congratulating them because you guys feel like LSU in your only competition anymore. Auburn in your only competition anymore. Georgia isn't your only competition anymore. You have a legitimate competition to where you can play the team, which is Texas A&M. And you can say, well, man, we just beat A&M. And they're the 4th best talented team in the country. I'm telling you guys what I know. So this is the reason why I don't shun Alabama. I talk about Texas fans a lot, but half of those guys know what's what is what. All right. So, anywho, Georgia average recruiting rankings, #1 in the country. For the 4 years leading up to this 2021 national title, Georgia average recruiting rankings was first. I'm going to say this once again. Georgia's recruiting rankings average for 4 years leading up to that 2021 national title was first. Okay? Once again, for you guys that love to say that the stars don't matter. Stars matter every bit if you won a national title. Just as much you say you. No, let me rephrase it. They matter if all you talk about is winning the national title. They matter a whole lot. So these were the Georgia recruits. 19 3-stars, 62 4-stars, 19 5-stars. Regardless if they were on offense or defense, they put it all together in 2021 and had one of the best damn defensive seasons I've ever witnessed in college football history. And you know what that led up to? A national title. You want to know why? Because Kirby Smart was every bit of the defensive coordinator that he told y'all he was. He was one of the best in the country at Alabama. And he proved that by being the head coach at Georgia. Everybody said that offenses wins the football games now. You have to be balanced, man. You want to know what Georgia's offensive rankings were 2021? I believe top 30. Defense rankings, top 5 in the nation. Yeah, they lost that SEC championship game, but we all knew if they lost that game, it didn't matter what they lost by. They were going to be in the college football playoffs. That was just that. They just had to show up. They showed up, put it on Michigan, left, went to the national title game, put it on Alabama, left as your 2021 national champions. They done this while getting their average rankings of #1. That's all credit to Kirby Smart. He changed their entire recruiting landscape at Georgia. Do you hear what I'm saying? He changed every bit of it. He changed everything from top to bottom. The roster was already there. He seen that he could get there with that roster in his second year. What he did was enhance it. He just simply enhanced it. I need better playmakers. So what did Kirby go out and do? He got better playmakers. That was just a step above the ones that he had from that class of where he took to the national title game in 2018. Once again, a lot of you guys like to discard these facts. The last 4 national champions. No, that was 2017. I'm sorry. That was 2017. The last 4 national champions was Clemson, 2018, 2019 LSU, 2020 Alabama, 2021 Georgia. SEC alone had 3 recent national champions. It is hard to come from this league if you're not Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. No other team has done that since 2010 Auburn Tigers. So of course this is the reason to why Jimbo Fisher wanted a 10-year deal. You cannot come into this league and think you're just going to bombard you. You can't come into this league as a head coach and think you're just going to take the whole enchilada. You know who thought that they were going to do that when they went to Florida and he felt like he didn't have to recruit hard enough? It was Dan Mullen. You know where Dan Mullen is at now? I don't know. But he's not at Florida anymore either. Once again, this is what Oklahoma knows, and this is what Texas will know coming in. You got to live up to it. Oh, our only problem is that we haven't lived up to the quarterback yet. We done it only one time, and that was in 2020. We lived up to Kellen Mond's strength. We hadn't witnessed a team that lost to Alabama by that many points in anybody's tenure and say, well, you know what? We're going to win all the rest of the next games going forward. We had never seen that. We seen it in 2020. What we're wanting is a repeat of 2020. But with better players. With better players. That is what we're wanting. This is the reason to why they're ranking this team as a preseason top 5. You guys have to know this. You guys got to know what I'm getting at, where A&M is going to, and what this is going to become. Texas A&M isn't a blue blood. I never told you that. Nobody in the industry has ever told you that. This is what everybody has said around the entire media landscape, including what's the name on college football ESPN mornings, Kirk Herbstreit. They're a good program. They just haven't shown me nothing yet. We know what they're capable of, but when are they going to release it? They're going to release it in 2022. In my strong, honest opinion, I think this team has every bit of the talent that they need with all 4 previous classes put together up to the 2022 season, which includes the 2021 number 1 recruiting class, all the way back to the 2018 recruiting class. It's time for them to put it all together and go out there and at least do this here, win 11 games. They can go 11-1, you know, because we're not saying this and saying that. We're not saying that, hey, go and win a national title, in which I believe that they can win a national title. And Mr. D. Taylor, you're telling me that I said the same thing last year, and I most certainly did. I said that they were going to beat Alabama last year. I most certainly did. Said that they were going to beat Mississippi State. I said they were going to beat Ole Miss. I said they were going to beat LSU. Unfortunately, they only won 1 out of those 5 games that I told you that they were going to win. But you know what they lost by? Do you know what they lost by in those 4 losses? An average of 26 points. Ole Miss, they lost by 10 points. And you know why that was? Because of a horrible offensive showing from not only Zach Calzada, in which, if you go back and look at that game, in which I started back looking at the season, shoulder was out of whack, you know, leg was out of whack. He wasn't even good in the Auburn game. Let's be honest. The defense won that game for the Auburn game. The question was, how long could we lean on that defense to give us ball games? We couldn't lean on it for a very long time. You want to know why? Because that was our first ever time being in the top 25 in defense since R.C. Slocum. Do you not know how long ago that's been? That is a very long time, man. But guess what? Jimbo Fisher and R.C. Slocum. So it wasn't going to work out how R.C. Slocum did. You know? So, once again, I don't like bringing this up because, just like D. Taylor said, excuses. Just show me and I'll believe. Well, keep watching 2022, man. Because I'm going to tell you like this. Even if the quarterback is not Haynes King, I know if it ain't Haynes King, it's going to be Mac Johnson. If it's those 2 guys, I would tell you this here, man. Both of those guys gonna either get an undefeated season, in which I still believe in. Though that is my prediction. Undefeated. Or they're going to get an 11-1 season and would have lost to Alabama. All right. Once again, the losses that they took last year, the 4 losses, 10 points to Ole Miss off of a fluky interception that led to a touchdown drive in which Ole Miss should have whooped our behinds by 30 to 40 points. But they didn't. Why? Because of the defense. All right, anywho. Haynes King is unproven. I know that. I know Haynes King is unproven. It was a lot of guys who was unproven. Bryce Young was unproven. Bryce Young was all the way unproven. Nobody knew that he was going to do what he was going to do. A lot of you guys to say, oh, man, I knew he was going to do that because he was ranked as a number 2 quarterback. That don't mean anything. That don't mean because he played for Alabama, you guys knew that he was going to go 11-1. He lost to Texas A&M. Nobody's seen that coming. So it's a lot of quarterbacks that are unproven, man. All right. Who else was unproven? Trevor Lawrence was unproven. So Deshaun Watson was unproven. But you see where it led these guys to. Jameis Winston, unproven. Nobody knew what Jameis Winston was going to do. It wasn't because he was at Florida State, man. It was because of the coaching, the offensive scheme. So a lot of you guys can kill me with the unproven factor. This is college football. This is not the NFL where we see these guys for 10, 11 years straight. No, this is college football, man. It's just a lot of guys that are unproven. But if you follow college football enough and you look at those guys, you know what they have and you know what they don't got. All right? I knew how good Bryce Young was. I just didn't know how he would look in the Alabama uniform. I can't just assume that. Alabama is darn good. The predictions that's coming out for 2022, Alabama national champions, that's an assumption. What I'm doing to you, saying Texas A&M is going to go undefeated, that's an assumption. I got a couple of facts behind that, but they also have to prove me right as well. I go out on a limb here. But I'm telling you guys what I know by giving you factual data. Once again, LSU, national champion. 2019, 7. Average recruiting ranking was 7. Alabama, average recruiting ranking. 2020 national champion. 2nd. It's number 2 in the nation. Georgia, average recruiting rankings. Leading up to the title last year, 1st in the nation. You gotta have a lot of things going for you, man. You want to know what's crazy? Kirby Smart that went to the college football playoffs in 2017. You know how long it took him to get back there? 4 years. I'm gonna say it once again for people in the back. It took him 4 years to get back there. However, within those 4 years that Kirby Smart wasn't in the college football playoffs, he went to 4 straight New Year's 6 bowl games and won all of them except one. That's what it takes. All it takes is for once to get into college football. Once. So you can get the taste of it, get the feel, the smell. That's it. Ohio State has been there. They've won one already. Reason why we got Jimbo Fisher once again is because he got a taste of the college football playoffs in 2014. He got there. He know how it looks. It's a sight to see. The only problem is that he hasn't been back ever since. He wants to get there. Now, this time around, he wants to do it with a newer program. A lot of people will continuously say, well, that's Texas A&M, man. The Aggie gonna Aggie. I have no clue of what that means, and I'm still trying to find out what that means. But we're going to be there. Regardless if we lose or not. We're going to get there. We're going to get to smell it. Once we get to smell, the taste, the look of it, it's New Year's 6 from there. I have every bit of faith in this team that they'll reach a New Year's Six bowl game this year. 8-4 is just blasphemy. I'm telling you, that's just blasphemy. And I understand, D. Taylor. That's why I'm not coming at you sideways. It's a lot of A&M. It's a lot of the A&M family that has to see it as well. We all want to see it because it's going to be a sight to see once they get there. We know every bit of once we get there, we won't look back from here on out. I'm going to say it once again. We will not look back. That will become our destination home. I'm not going to say every year because I'll be lying to you right there. Alabama has not made it to the college football playoffs every year. All right? They made it every year except one time. Majority of the college football playoffs has seen Alabama. All right? We will say that. But once again, we don't want to be Alabama. But we know that we're on a consensus talent level, in a consensus recruiting rankings level. That's Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. I'm going to say it once again. In order to reach that of what Georgia and Alabama has, which is a national title, not counting how many national titles Alabama has, because we're not going to reach that. Now that's me just being for real with you right there. I'm being dead honest with you right there. They started a long time ago. But we can reach that level to where they're at. All right? A lot of people like to look back on Clemson and want to model what Clemson did. Clemson done their own thing. Clemson got out of their own way to go and win a national title. That's basically what they did. They got out of their own ways and said, no, man, screw this. We're going to upgrade this. We're going to upgrade that. We're going to look around, see what other guys kind of doing. We know we don't have necessarily as much money as all of the other schools does, but we're going to do enough to make it work to where we can build a national championship program. And that's what they done. That's what they done. You want to know what Texas A&M is doing? They're over-exceeding a budget that's not even there to build a national championship program. Do you guys see what baseball is doing? Once again, we're over-exceeding a budget that's not even there. Once A&M found out that, shit, I don't have a budget, that's it. So we're willing to do what it takes. As of right now, if you guys are going to go and tailgate, you need to know this. Not sure when all of this is going to be done, but they're building a freaking fishing pond for you guys to fish and tailgate all at the same time. I've never heard that in my life. I will be down there just to say I've been down there to experience and see it and everything. But that is what we're doing. Facilities. You want to know who got the best facilities, top 5? Number 1, in which they're going to stay number 1, is Texas A&M. You want to know who's number 2? Alabama Crimson Tide. Number 3, Oregon. And these are all my opinions. Number 3, Oregon. Number 4, LSU. I'm going to say it once again. Number 4, LSU. Number 5, Georgia. And the list goes on and on. You want to know what South Carolina ranks at so far as facility-wise? Top 10 in the freaking nation. You want to know what South Carolina has done? Nothing. I'm going to say it once again. Nothing. But you know what they consistently want to do? Keep up with everybody else. And at the same time, do their own thing. You want to know what A&M is doing? Keeping up and over-exceeding everyone else while doing their own thing at the end of the day. This is what it boils down to. You want me to win ball games. I don't need a budget. I want to pay my assistants this, and that. With no problems. No questions asked. You want it? You can have it. You want $2 million? If I feel like you deserve $2 million, I'm going to give you $2 million. Why? Because I got the money to give you $2 million, man. I don't have a budget. Once again, it's no budget in College Station, people. When are y'all going to realize that? It's no budget for us. You want to know where else is no budget at? In which I don't like mentioning this team, but I'm telling you the truth here. It ain't no budget in Texas. Longhorns don't have a budget, man. They just choose to be kind of cheap. But at the same time, just starting to realize as well, oh shit, we getting left behind. In facilities wise. They know they're getting left behind. Why do you think they come to the SEC? They want to keep up. What it's going to do when the Longhorns come over to the SEC? Let me go through this with you guys, and I have to get up out of here because I have to take my wife somewhere. So, like I say, man, I'm just looking at the last 4 years here. Just the last 4 years leading up to 2022. So, 2018, Longhorns. And let me do some calculations here. Let me get this calculator out. You know, let me make sure I got this going. So these are the Longhorns. Average recruiting rankings. All right. And we're gonna look at this, and a lot of you guys, man, why you talking about the Longhorns on here? Because I just want to prove a point. Okay? I want to prove a point. I know they haven't won anything, but this is what you guys need to know. Let me finish up the calculations here. And I'm probably about to shock a lot of you guys, but then again, I'm not. And I know I'm not. A lot of you guys will look at me and be like, man, they still can't win the Big 12. Only reason why they can't win the Big 12 is because of development in the defense. That's the only reason. This the Longhorns. Average recruiting rankings. 7th in the nation. For the last 4 years out. 7th in the nation. So when they come on here and they tell you about this and that, Longhorns have no excuses, and they know that. They have a new coach. Y'all know that. This is the reason to why I'm not believing the 7-5 for Longhorns. No, I'm not going to believe that. That team should every bit of go 10-2 as well. 2 losses coming to Baylor and Oklahoma. Okay, well I'm gonna go 9-3. 9-3 for Texas Longhorns. That should not be lower than 9-3. If it's 8-4, that's a big step from 5-7. That's gonna be decent. But with the 7th, the average recruiting rankings for the last 4 years, it's 7 in the nation. I'm even high on Longhorns, and I don't even much like Texas. I'm even high on the Longhorns. I'm gonna say it once again. I'm even high on the Longhorns, dude. They're 7th in the nation at best, which means they're gonna walk into 2022 with the 7th best talent in the nation. 7th best. A lot of you guys like to shun us, but you mean tell me you can't get a 9-3 season in the Big 12? Oh, I'm sorry. The 3 losses. Okay, well, they might go 8-4. Number 1 loss is going to be Alabama, in which I've seen that game sold out. Number 1 loss will be Alabama. 2nd loss will be Oklahoma. 3rd loss will be Baylor. 4th loss, man, it may just be Oklahoma State. I'm not even much going to lie to you. Those will be the 4 losses. That's a big step from 5-7, though. If they lose to Kansas one more time. At that point, I don't know if Kansas put some voodoo on them people or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on there, but once again, I'm not even much a Texas fan, but I know is every bit of every Texas fan out there that they should not go freaking 6-6 or 7-5, man. Come on now, be for real about that. So D Taylor, yes, Texas is his team. So you know Texas is my team, but development has been their problem. That is it. I promise you, if Steve Sarkisian walk in there in a second game and I see them lose to Alabama 41-28, that means that guy has came a long way from where they were at 5-7. Yeah, you got blown out. Okay, man, whatever. Everybody gets blown out by Alabama. But you're going up against the blue bloods of all of college football. If you can even make that game arguably close, I would take my hat off to you, put it at your door store, and say congratulations. But once again, we all know the problem. It's not the talent, it's the development. That is it. That's the only thing lagging them. What's the problem in College Station? A freaking quarterback, man. A freaking quarterback. Okay, two things, a quarterback and wide receiver, in which I believe Jimbo Fisher's fixed it. Evan Stewart will play every bit of a contribution in this 2022 season as he should. You want to know who else will play a big contribution? Chase Lane. You want to know what our third down percentage was last year? Not good. It was an F. That 9-1 season, you know who kept on getting those third down conversions? Passing wise, Chase Lane, dude. Where was Chase Lane at last year? He was hurt. Enough said. Yeah, so we're looking for better improvement. All right, so once again, this is what we're looking at. If you guys want to do Oklahoma, I got like a couple more minutes, and I really have to get out of here. And you know what? Matter of fact, we will do Oklahoma. And I can tell you like this, Oklahoma is nowhere. They're near Texas, but Oklahoma isn't with Texas by a long shot. All right, so we go back to 2018, and my wife is in there cursing. I know she's mad, everything. So Oklahoma. And excuse me while I get kind of quiet here. Just looking at this. And the only reason why Oklahoma continuously won the Big 12 like that is because of their development process on offense. It wasn't necessarily defense. It was just all offense. But this is the reason to why they kept on getting derailed in the college football playoffs is because they never had defense. They can never develop the defense right. And that's going to be Lincoln Riley's Achilles heel for as long as he's a head coach to me. I believe that he will have 2 good years and where one day he will win it all. All right, I will say that. One day Lincoln Riley will get his national title. But his Achilles heel leading up into that time will forever be his defense, man. Oklahoma's average recruiting rankings for the last 4 years. This here, number 9. They were always a top 10 team. What did everybody tell you? Top 10 team can make it to the college football playoffs. Problem is, can you win it with that top 10 team? He was sitting on right up the edge at being number 10. His average recruiting ranking since 2018 was number 9 in the country. He had the 9th best talented roster. All right, and he showed that in the Big 12. This is the reason to why a lot of people was upset with Texas. Texas is 2 talented spots above OU. It's just development, man. You want to know how it was supposed to be? Texas is ultimately supposed to flip-flop Oklahoma. But since Oklahoma has development process down pat, they can never flip-flop. It has always been Oklahoma. And then not even Texas after that. It's just Oklahoma and everybody else. So that's the point that I'm making. All right. So that's all I have for you guys. Good hour talking to you guys. I ran over my time limit and I have to go and take my wife somewhere. She's going to be mad. I know she's going to be mad when I walk in this house. Please pray for me. But anywho, guys, I love all of you. Shout out to everybody that listens to the show, even the Texas fans all around the world. I give you crap. You guys are going to give me crap, and it's going to stay that way. That's all right. Hey, it is what it is. College football. This is college sports in general. But I love all of you guys. #GeekMad.